Hello traders, happy Wednesday. It is time for Empire Algorithmic Trading's Vwapvision Daily Stock Talk. It's where we use the volume weighted average price to make sense of the market. It tells us exactly who's in control, buyers and sellers. And here's a hint, it's not the buyers. So let's just get to it. Let's do a little stock talk. Well, welcome to Wednesday, everybody. There's going to be a short and quick one today. There's really not a lot to go over. The market just ran right into resistance. We were looking at it yesterday, and resistance did exactly what resistance does. However, just going to take a quick, brief little look here. So it's nice to see the bonds kind of rally today. Again, we're seeing a little bit of recovery. The bonds are quickly getting back above their VWAP. Our studies have shown that this is a pretty important level for bonds to hold. So in order for the market to have any chance of bottoming, we need bonds to just chill out and relax. The last thing we want is continued selling. Right now, the morning star pattern that we talked about yesterday is showing a little bit of a hold. It's nice to see it back above its VWAP, so we're going to pay close attention to that. But in the meantime, we're still in a red zone. So we were getting kind of excited. I was kind of thinking, maybe yesterday there was a chance, right? There was a good chance we could possibly move higher, but resistance did what resistance does, and it just pushed the market down. Sellers came in. We had a double whammy today. You had NVIDIA announcing a $5.5 billion charge that they're taking on some excess chips that they're blaming on export controls. And then also Jerome Powell had a speech at the Economic Club of Chicago saying basically that tariffs are going to lead to higher prices and lower growth. So if I remember correctly, that's called stagflation, and that's exactly not what we want. So pretty ugly day for the market, down 2.2%. Interestingly enough, that kind of fits in exactly with what the VIX is forecasting for the next 30 days, is average 2% move. So fitting right in there, just a negative day all around. Same thing with the NASDAQ Composite. If you would expect to see this, particularly with NVIDIA selling off hard, it was down 3% on the day. Small caps, they sold off a little bit as well. A pretty tight little action there. I don't even want to speculate and even try and get excited about a potential bottom. We're just going to wait and see how if this will test. It's very likely going to test the lows. We're going to see how it tests. It could stop, somewhere in between here and the bottom. If we create a higher low here, then that'll obviously be a very bullish sign. But in the meantime, it's just wait and see. I mean, we've been in a red zone. It feels like forever and a day. So let's just be patient and relax. Let the market come to us. Now is not the time, as we can see, to be anticipating any moves higher. We want to wait and see and get some confirmation before we start putting our hard-earned money at risk. So the mid caps down 1.1%, just par for the course for the entire day. And as you would expect, the VIX shot up. Whenever equities sell off, the VIX tends to go up. Of course, it went up pretty good today, a pretty good sell-off, and we're still at a very elevated level. At a 32, that's still at about a 2%, maybe a little bit more, 2% daily expected range for the S&P 500 for the next 30 days. So we need to see that come down significantly before we will expect to see any continued movement forward on stocks. But in the meantime, we're clearly not there yet. To be running into the 20-day moving average, that's a pretty young early moving average to find resistance at. And so I shouldn't say short moving average to find resistance at. Pretty clearly sell off here, a little slightly higher volume than the day before, which is not what you want to see when we're trying to set lows. So that's why we wait. That's why we wait for confirmation. That's why we wait for breakouts. That's why we want to see continued buying from institutions before we put our money at risk. So we're still in the wait and see game, still in a red zone. And in the meantime, everybody, just be patient. And if you're doing any trading, happy trading. And if not, happy waiting. Thank you and have a nice day.